say custom schedule. It should say the actual what is it scheduled to do. I'll give this here. Yeah, so we improved this alpha pick strategy where before what it would do is it would pick. Oh, this is actually working well. Nice. Awesome. This actually worked. Okay. Um, let's see, which account 4069. Oh, it doesn't even own anything right now. And I just checked with Tradier and it doesn't seem like it actually traded anything or that it doesn't own anything right now. So there's clearly something wrong with this. Please investigate all this. Okay, so we'll look into that. But yeah, so when I changed this alpha picks option strategy, it reduced the returns, right? So before we were getting like some crazy returns, it was doing like 400 or 500% a year or something. But after I made the changes, it reduced the returns to still a very impressive number, by the way, 175% a year or 184% a year on a 5K account. I tested it with smaller accounts as well. And basically, this new Alpha Picks calls only strategy, instead of before, what it would do is it'd go through the picks, pick two, and then hold those basically until expiry. But that doesn't account for like what if this thing is no longer a strong buy or if they like decide to sell it, it didn't do that before. And what if it no longer has the best momentum? You know what I mean? Like so if the top two change, it will automatically change those, right? So that's kind of the change I made here. Still got a very impressive return, 174, 700, 175% a year, 184% a year. Crazy returns, right? Very high drawdown, right? So we could, I'm sure, do things to improve that, right? Find ways to just make it take less risk because that's a crazy return. And I bet you we could cut the return in half and cut the drawdown in half. And I think most of us in this room would be more comfortable with something like that. Um, for me, a 70% drawdown basically means that it will at some point go to zero, right? But yeah, I mean, crazy returns, right? Over a couple of years. So yeah, so that's where we're at with this Alpha Pix one, right? And then Gil, I don't think you're here for this, and maybe some of the rest of you guys weren't here for this either, but we actually made some headway on prediction markets. So we actually got it to work to actually start placing trades on Polymarket, right? So betting on, World Cup or whatever, or political events, or all the different kind of things that should be possible now through LumiBot. But it is not built into our platform yet, right? So if you guys want, we can kind of go down that path. So here is here's our stuff. And sorry, Gil, were you trying to say something? I saw you unmuted yourself.
No, I was just going to comment, but yeah, no, I poly markets is interesting. That's kind of the shiny spoon for me. I think it's kind of cool. So I was just going to make a comment. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It is that one of those shiny things. I mean, it's gotten so popular, right? Like part of me wants to just add that to our platform because I think if we do that, people go crazy, like because we're like the only ones that would be able to do that if we created that, right? Um, because there's a lot of like people are making their own poly market bots using Claude code and whatever, but you have to be like very technical to be able to do that, right? It's like very hard to get something like that done. Whereas we already have all the infrastructure and everything to do this, we might even be able to like back test poly market stuff. Like imagine being able to back test it. That's pretty wild, right? I don't know anyone that could do that, right? But generally, it kind of makes it easier. So it's like you could do AI trading with poly market right out of the box, right? So that's we could work on that if you guys are interested, right? So here's what we have on our list, right? We have Alpha Pix option strategies, which I mentioned. Basically, I change this thing so that it rotates the two that it owns a little bit better. Um, we have AI trading, which we've been working on for some time, and we have this thing going. Did it actually? Yeah, it's still working. Good. Okay, and then we could do an AI training team skill, which I think maybe might be done. I'm looking into this thing. It's running it, and we'll see if that actually has been done or not. We could actually test that out. That might be finished. We can make a Twitter trading bot, which we talked about for some time. Twitter has an API now that's much more affordable, so that makes it a lot easier. We can do stuff with prediction markets, right? We could use prediction markets to trade, and then we could also use prediction markets to get data to trade on other markets, right? Because there's the two that we could do, right? Right now, we have this working on my computer, but not yet in BotSpot. Um, Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it'll be that hard to add to BotSpot if you guys want to do it today. I think that's possible, right? Because I was able to get it to actually work and trade, which is like the hard part, right? And I blew my mind that it was like actually pretty easy to do. Um, like we didn't like when we were doing stuff with like Trade Evade or whatever with futures, it was such a pain. We worked on it for weeks. Um, and it's still quite difficult, but uh, Polymarket just makes it so easy. Their APIs are really good. They're modern. They're very willing to give out data. So like Polymarket was just like surprisingly very easy to get up and running. Um, so if you guys want to add it to our platform, we can work on that today. Or we could also just make it so that we can get data from Polymarket and use it to trade other things, right? That's the other thing there. We could work on an SPX strategy, right, which we've talked about before in the past. We could even use the AI trading team to do that sort of thing. We could use TradingView to create a future strategy. I think I'm going to take that off the list because we've already done that in the past, unless you guys want to do it again, right? But I thought that was using TradingView to create a strategy seems to be like a generally a pretty easy way to make something that's pretty profitable. We could work on the poor man's covered calls. I know Maurizio, you're working on that for a while. We could do a futures momentum bot. We could do a Pelosi or Congress trading. Like I've been thinking about doing something like that for a while because it's like it's an easy thing to explain to people and tends to do very well. We could do insider trading. I think that's another really good one. We could copy hedge funds, right? Like you could actually literally get what a hedge fund owns from the SEC and you could just copy them, right? We could do factor trading. We've talked about what that is before, or we could look at level two order books, right? What do you guys think about all this stuff? Any questions or comments or thoughts about any of that?